Welcome back to Unfiltered Unspoken, and we're going to keep bringing it to you. Well, today we have a DC native, and this is his first time sharing his life experience. We're going to bring in Leon Johnson. He is known as Guss. He's going to tell you about his recovering addiction and to his failing kidney. Hey, Leon, thank you for joining Unfiltered Unspoken. It's an honor to have you here today.
It's an honor to be here today. It's an honor to be here. Um, yeah, I'm just, I'm no one special. I'm just here to share my story and how it worked for me. Um, to give you a little summary of, time out. Can we start over? I'm sorry.
No, keep going. We record.
I'm just making sure. Okay, so you want me to jump right into it?
Yeah,
Okay.
get into it.
Okay. So, yes. So with me, just to give you a little background of where I'm from the, Northern Virginia area. You know, me and my mother, we kind of bounced around when I was younger. She did a wonderful job raising me and my brothers and sisters. She did the best she could, and I'm very thankful for her. And at times, growing up, it wasn't always the best. She did the best for us. But we had our ups and down moments, like every other family does. My stepfather, he was a cool guy. He passed away a few years ago, but he was more of a friend than a father figure. I used to get high with him, smoke weed with him, and, run out of DC with him and stuff like that. He was a good dude, He was a good dude, but like I said, he was more like a big brother and a father figure. And I'm not blaming him for anything that I went through in my life as an adult. It just, I was introduced, to that street lifestyle at a young age. And, I fell in love with it. I liked it. I like running the streets. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed going to go-go's and partying. And, around the age of 14, I started smoking cigarettes the first day of ninth grade. My mother moved from Reston to Herndon. And, because that's what the cool kids were doing, I guess. And, started drinking and going to parties. And it started off like that. And then around the age of 19, I was introduced to PCP. I had stopped smoking weed around 9/11. Got real paranoid, thought the world was coming to an end. And stopped smoking weed and started smoking PCP. And instantly, I fell in love with it. It was probably the worst thing I ever did in my life. I don't have any regrets because, going through what I went through made me who I am today. But it definitely took me on a roller coaster ride in my life. Started off fun and games, and before you know it, I lost everything. Literally lost my family, lost my kidneys, lost my license, couldn't keep a job. I was in the streets hustling just to get high. It was rough, And I used to look at myself in the mirror, but through it all, I never gave up my faith in God, And I kept God first in everything I did, And, slowly but surely, after going to recovery, at first I was like, this program, how can this program help me? How can this program work for me? At the end of the program, I was scared to leave because I didn't want to mess up, And it's just the simple things in the programs, that they teach you, people, places, and things. Staying away from the people that trigger you to want to get high. Staying away from certain places that remind you of the good times you had when you were getting high. Boredom, trying to keep yourself occupied, It's the little things I've learned, I feel like I should be giving y'all more.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. But we're gonna actually go into some questions because you did a great introduction, and
you sure?
It felt like you was just reading off a memoir or something like that. It was good. Yeah, like you almost just wanted to let you go, but we gonna get more kind of specific into things.
Okay.
Now I do want to ask, and we're gonna kick this off because you are we pretty much from the same area, grew up around the same area, around the same people. And people do have, this misconception about what goes on or what doesn't go on in Northern Virginia. But you are a testament that it is we had the ability to run the streets. We had the ability to get into things we wasn't supposed to. So what about what you was getting into, running the streets? What did you find about it, or what did you like about it so much that took a hold to you? And what weren't you getting at home, or what were you looking for that kind of threw you into that?
Into the streets?
Yeah, or just getting up to no good.
I guess okay, so it was just the atmosphere. It was just everything, repping the neighborhood, going to the go-go's every night, fast money, you know what I'm saying? The women, you know what I'm saying? The girls, everything. Everything came so fast when I was young. And at one point in my life in that age, I thought I would never change for the better because I loved it so much. You know what I mean? And, what changed me from, I got in, I never, okay, so I grew up, my grandmother and them were always in the church, so I always knew a little something about, the Lord, and this is a testimony, okay, so I had just moved back from Leesburg, to Herndon, and there's a Giant in Herndon, but it was Shoppers Food Warehouse at the time, and I went there one night to get some milk for one of my children, and the Pastor Duke is his name. He just happened to be in there. He was doing some late work at the church, and he happened to be in there, and he extended, an invitation for me to come to his church, years later, when I'm going through my problems with drugs, I cried out on his shoulder on Father's Day in the middle of him preaching, to help me, because something in my mind told me to go home and commit suicide. And I never felt suicidal in my life besides that one time. So I literally walked up to the podium while he was preaching and said, I need your help right now, And he, in the middle of him preaching, he took me in the back room, told me to sit there. And at the end of it all, he got me to where I needed to go. And just that meeting him that night at the church saved my life 12 years later. You know what I mean? Because I walked out of the church to go home and kill myself. And you know what I'm saying? And something pulled me back to the church. And I knew the power of God was real right then and there, So, yeah, like it's little stuff like that God put that angel, that pastor right there in the grocery store that night. And 12 years later, he's saving my life, taking me somewhere where I needed to be. And that's when I went to treatment. That's when I started my run with treatment and, and got through it. And I thank him for that.
Is that Ralph C. Duke?
Yes, that's him. Yeah.
That was my grandmother's pastor to the day she passed.
Yeah, he's a wonderful everything to me. Even when I was going through my addiction, he helped me so many times with lots of things, And I can never repay him for the things he did for me. Just staying close to me and my family. When me and my first children's mother was going through our breakup, he even tried to counsel our situation. He took us out to dinner to see what we could do to make it work, but it was already dead. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. He's done so much for me and my family, and I appreciate that.
I have a question. You said you went through the problems of drugs. What problems of drugs did you go through?
As far as like me personally, like my problems, what did it put me through? Is what you're asking?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So like I said, I lost my entire family. First off, I lost my license. That was the first thing, and that made it really hard because all my jobs were driving jobs at the time. So I lost my license. Then eventually my children's mother, she got tired of me running the streets. I lost her and my kids. And then but before I lost her, I lost my kidneys. Because the PCP rose my blood pressure, and I wasn't treating my blood pressure, and the high blood pressure caused my kidneys to shut down. The doctor even gave me fair warning, like, I went to the hospital 2 weeks before they failed, and he told me, whatever you're doing in the streets, you need to slow down, because something bad is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. He didn't tell me what it was. He just said something bad is going to happen. And you know me, hard-headed, I didn't listen to him. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, you know, I'm in the same hospital with the same doctor. And he said, I told you to slow down. You know, you have pneumonia and your kidney failed. And I didn't know the severity of the kidney failure, you know, but when you hear that, you know, you think, oh my God, I'm about to die. I messed up. It's too late, you know. But yeah, I lost my kidneys. I lost, you know, I had a townhome, didn't have that no more. I lost everything. I rock bottom, you know. I rock bottom.
Now, what is the I guess what made you settle on PCP? What about, you know, the feeling? What type of high is it? What was the feeling that outside of it just being, you know, addictive in itself? There's usually something more that makes you want to, you know, continue to do it. So, you know, what type of feeling did it give you, or what type of joy did it feel like it brought you?
To be honest, right? To be honest, knowing I was about to go get it was a better feeling than actually doing it. You know what I mean? Like the feeling I got knowing, oh, we about to go out the city, oh, we about to, you know, we about to go holler, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Knowing I was about to get it and we was about to pull up was a better feeling than actually getting it. Because once I was on it, I didn't know where it was going to send me. Sometimes I felt super good. You know, sometimes it put me in a demonic world where I felt like I was in hell. You know, it's an hallucinogen drug. So whatever you hallucinate on at the time, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much how you feel at the moment. So if you feel good, it could make a rainy day feel like the sunniest day in the world. I remember one time I was out in Reston, in Stonegate. This is years after Stonegate is dead. There's nobody out there right now. And I'm out there high. And to me, it just felt like it was the perfectest day in the world to throw a cookout for everybody in the neighborhood. Now, mind you, don't nobody live in the neighborhood no more. So I'm out there. The police got me surrounded. And they're like, you know, like, what's wrong with you? I said, I'm just out here to throw a cookout for all the kids. In my mind, there was a bunch of kids out there. You know, it just puts you in a crazy world. You know, it puts you in a crazy state of mind. And like I said, it's more so the feeling before you get high. You know, I've done stupid stuff off of it. You know, I done got naked. You know, I know y'all have heard that before. I done got naked in broad daylight. You know, it put me in a lot of situations. You know, I go to dialysis, so I have a fistula in my arm. I don't know if y'all can see my arm, but I have a fistula right here. It's a tube that they had to put in my arm that takes the fluids and the toxins out of my body into a machine and cleans my blood system. I broke the tube in my body one time. You know what I'm saying? I was high and I fell on my arm and broke the tube in my arm. I didn't put myself through so many mess ups, so many fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? And my mother and everybody around me who really cared about me, I watched them cry so many nights and so many days for me to just get my life together, you know. And eventually, on my time, after being sick and tired of being sick and tired, I eventually did. That's what it takes. That's what it takes as an addict, you know. You have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be tired of falling out, laying out. I used to sleep on people's balconies. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother didn't want me over there. So, and plus I wanted to stay close. You know, I used to sleep in people's, you know, I didn't sleep damn near everywhere. You know what I mean? Chasing this drug, my life was fucked up. You know, and once you get a glimpse of this good life that you could be living, you know, you wouldn't even want to go back to that life, you know?
Wow, deep. I want to ask, I want to go back to a piece because you said you wanted to commit suicide before you walked out of the church. Why did you want to commit suicide?
It was a feeling that I've never felt before. I've never felt suicidal. I don't know why. It's just, you know, I guess, you know, the devil knows when you're at your lowest. He knows how you feel. You know what I mean? The devil knows you just as well as the Lord knows you. You know what I mean? And he's seen me at my lowest moment in my life. You know what I mean? But I felt so disgusted for, I don't know, just for the life that I was living, you know?
Was
Not
that
being
a
a good
sober
father,
or
losing my kids, letting my kids down. I was a, you know, he seen me at my lowest moment, and he knew how to use my emotions at the time. He said, "I'm
Was
gonna
that a
get you."
sober thought or a high thought? The
Was I
suicide.
high when I thought that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I never smoked the day of church, but I did smoke the day before. You know, I did smoke on a Saturday. I never smoked during church or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, the drugs were probably still in my system because I'm pretty sure I was high Saturday before church. You know, but nah, when I yeah, well maybe it did have a lot to do with the drugs because when I went to where I went to, I ended up in the psych ward for a week in Fairfax. Ended up in the psych ward. And when I came down, I was like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I know I was lunching, but you don't want to kill yourself. You know, suicide is an automatic trip to hell. You don't want to kill yourself. So I thought about it, and that's when I knew then and there I never wanted to feel like that again. I have to get the help I need. You know what I mean? I never want to feel suicidal again. You know, thank God I've never felt that way again. I've only felt like that one time in my life. And somebody else I talked to told me that when you do feel suicidal, it's just a feeling that just comes real quick. It comes real quick. And, you know, that's why people end up killing themselves because it happens so quick, you know. And, yeah, I never felt like that before, and I never want to feel like that again.
Sorry, I had that little extra question, but
yeah, it's like everything you say is just like,
yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, you know, it's
oh no, you
it's
don't have
just
to. You
be
don't have to be
sorry.
sorry.
Don't be
We just
sorry.
glad you're getting it off
Yeah.
yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, you know, it's hard. You know, I understand, and you know, a lot of people. I still live in the same area that I used to run around in, and I don't really see nobody unless we cross paths at a store or they see me in the road in traffic. You know, because I distance myself. Now, I don't think I'm better than anybody out here. You know, anybody around this joint, anybody anywhere who knows me knows if they want to get off drugs, they can call me and I'll guide them in that direction. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem helping a friend out. I want to help people out that want to get off this because I know the seriousness of this shit. You know, I done lost my best friend last year. I lost my best friend because he OD, you know, and that shit hurts me every day thinking about him, you know. I lost a lot of friends that OD'd and died, you know what I mean? Cousins and everything, family members and everything. A lot of people, and I'm not talking about over the years. I'm talking about just in the last couple of years. We're losing people left and right, and we have to do something. You know, we need to help each other. You know, not just as a race, but just we got to look at each other like family. You know, we all going through shit. This podcast right here is helping people. It might, you know, it might not help everybody in the world, but there are people watching this shit, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, so that's how he got through it. Let me try to get through it. And I'm willing to guide anybody in the right direction, but you have to be willing to go through what you have to go through to get there. You know, when I went to treatment wasn't fun and games. There was plenty of times I wanted to leave treatment because they treat you like everything you say is a lie, but they have to because we're all addicts. You know what I'm saying? They treat you like that because we're all addicts. So when you get there and you know, I had to restart the whole damn program one time, and I was ready to leave. You know what I'm saying? And the counselor told me, you know, go back in there and just sit down. And I did because I looked at it like, yeah, if I roll out, I'm gonna get high, but then what? I'm back in the same boat. I'm trying to better my life, not just for me, but for my family, everybody around me. You know, the positives to my life now, I have my own place. You know, I got my own crib. I have custody of my oldest daughter. She's been wanting to live with me since me and her mother split apart. I have custody of her now. You know what I'm saying? I just bought a new truck. You know, before I was beating and feeding her and walking, catching the bus every damn where, looking for a ride somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I have a new family, you know, where I have a new girl and, you know, 2 children with her. So, I mean, on the plus side, God has really blessed me by doing the right thing. You know what I mean? He's really blessed me. And anybody can receive these blessings. You just got to be willing to cut off the old shit. I know how hard it is to cut off the old shit, but you got to be willing to do it for yourself. You can't do it for your kids. You can't do it for your girl. You can't do it because your mom wants you to. You have to do it for yourself. You know what I mean? Because how are you going to do something for somebody else when you don't even want to really be there? You know what I'm saying? You got to be down the side like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? and just take the steps you need to take to get there. And
Man,
I'm
you
willing.
teared me up. You teared me up. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, you got some powerful words, and I'm so glad. I want to say this really quick.
yeah,
Because the first time Leon came on, it is okay. Is it okay I say this?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first time Leon came on, he ghosted me and said, but I
Yeah,
understood him because he was afraid, he wasn't ready to share his story. He was
yeah,
nervous. But what's
yeah,
real is he reached out and was honest. He was like, let me just be straight up honest with you. I got
yeah,
scared at the last moment. And
yeah,
Sid and I want to appreciate you coming and being honest and transparent,
yeah.
because we would have never got this. And it's
Right.
so special is because I reached out to you and was like, you want to share your life experience, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And you was like, yeah, you was pumped. But
yeah,
I want people to know when you get there, it's
yeah,
scary. That
yeah,
fear of exposing everything to the world is
yeah.
scary.
You,
And Sid and I, we were frustrated, right?
I know.
And you and I talk because this is the first.
Yeah,
But I'm glad that you were honest
yeah,
about everything, because I didn't know the dialysis piece of it, didn't know a
yeah,
lot of pieces of it, right?
yeah, yeah.
So Sid and I both agreed that this is a story that we have to get out there because God wasn't ready for us then to share it.
Right,
And
right.
then I had a 1 minute cancellation, and I'm hitting Sid. I'm like, can you come on? He was like, no. Can you come on tomorrow 7:30? So Sid was like, he can't do it today. And I was like, 7:30. So Sid flexed her schedule to make
Yeah,
sure we got this interview as well.
right.
And it's powerful.
Yeah,
It's powerful.
No,
yeah,
for real, you up here speaking like a professional. No BS. Like
Yeah.
if she never said that, nobody would have ever known you was ever feeling the way about coming on here.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I
It
mean,
kind of sound like you done rehearsed it in your head a million times by now.
yeah. The sad part is I didn't, because I didn't even know what to say. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say
Yeah.
when I get
It's
there.
flowing. It's certainly
You
flowing.
know.
Because you was like, are you gonna ask this question? So we can ask this question. What I tell you, I said, no, we're organic.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah,
script.
yeah. I mean, I think it was a lot to do with, the devil too. The devil putting shit in my head, like, don't do it, don't do it. A lot of times when you get those don't do it's, if it's something positive and you get a don't do it, that's just the devil trying to get you from helping somebody. Because, I hope this helps somebody, a lot of people I know, a lot of dudes younger than me that looked up to me in the streets is looking forward to this. They trying to change their ways too. And I respect that. You could never knock a man for trying to do the right thing. If there's somebody like, oh, you want to do the right thing, oh, nah, you lunch a nigga, then you don't need to be around that man. You know what I mean? Because we have to better ourselves, man. That lifestyle is so over with, and I'm trying to, install that in my kids' heads now. Like the worries I went through in the streets are nothing compared to the worries I have now. You know, trying to get my kids to do the right thing. And, back then I wasn't even worried about them. My kids was babies, and, I was trying to find my next high, but, life is different now. And, my worries are worries, but they're not as bad as they used to be. And, you know, I am blessed. My life isn't the greatest, but I am blessed to be where I'm at in life. I'm in an apartment building with a room that I could just come get away. And, I never had this. This is kind of luxury. You know what I mean? This is luxury for somebody of my standards, because, and like I said, man, anybody could live this life, man, this sober life. I mean, do I drink every now and then? I do. I'm not 100%. If I go out on New Year's, I do drink. So if y'all see me at breakers or something drinking, yeah, I do drink, but I don't get high. That's what this is about. And I told the people at the rehab, I said, I will never smoke boat again. But I mean, will I have a drink again? Probably. A lot of people have mixed feelings about that, and they share their input on it. But at the same time, it is what it is. It didn't make me relapse. Nothing will make me go back to that life. You know what I mean? Nothing will make me go back. Tomorrow, I have a doctor's appointment. I'm getting back on the transplant list for another kidney transplant. I had one before, and tomorrow, these are the positive things, that you receive when you're doing the right thing. Because before, they knew I got high and I couldn't even get on the list. You know what I mean? You can't get on the list until you sober. They make you do a drug test and everything. Now I don't even have those worries. You see what I'm saying? So life is so much better on this side. You know what I'm saying? Life is so much better on this side. It might not seem to it at first because we so used to fast money and doing whatever we want to do when we want to do it. But you know, that slow money is better than that fast money because you don't spend it as quick, you know? You learn to cherish your hard-earned money instead of just thinking, oh, I can go buy this, I can go get this. Nah, it's not even about that no more. Because that time they're giving out, you ain't gonna be around no kids or nothing, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And I just want to piggyback on something you said previously. Because one, just shout out RIP Kobe Ellis.
yeah.
Everybody around the way. We just gonna put that out there. That was a hit. But I do believe the best way to kind of memorialize, you know, your loved ones is to keep their name in your mouth pretty much. Like keep speaking their name. So who was it that you lost, you know, last year?
I lost my right hand man, my brother James Carter. We call him Bus. You know what I'm saying? Bus.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, 2 years before that, I lost my man Chris Miles. We call him Styles. You know what I'm saying? They're both from the Herndon Wrestling area. Well, Styles is really from New York, but he's been in Herndon Wrestling, you know, majority of his, you know, since he was little. So, you know, I lost them. Those aren't like just people I know. These are like close brothers to me. You know what I mean? These are like my brothers. You know what I mean? I lost them. You know, I lost my man Ra. You know, from Leesburg. He's from Reston, but you know, he lived in the Leesburg area. He died around Christmas this year. You know, I lost so many people, dog. Kobe, that's my man too. Kobe Ellis, that's my man too. You know, Ashton, like it's so many people have died. My cousin Cortez has died. Like so many people have died. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm talking about recently, within the last 2 or 3 years, but you know, more people than that. You know, it's so many people. It's hard to name. You know, and it's sad. You know, we watching the world change, and you know, we see what's happening to the people around us. What are we gonna do about it? You know, as far as changing for ourselves. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, Bus is my brother, and I lost him. Yeah, and Styles too.
Is most of these deaths due to drug addiction, ODs?
A couple of them, you know, and you know, yeah, a couple of them, you know, and you know, you hear stuff about certain people. Like I said, I don't really keep my ear to the streets like that no more. When I hear stuff, I hear stuff. So when I hear that people die, I don't, you know, I don't know. I know, yeah, some of them were, yeah, and some of them were just health issues. And that's another thing we need to worry about is eating right and living right. Because, you know, that fast food killing us just like these drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, you know, it's a lot out here for us, man. And I believe if we all come together, you know, this podcast is a start, you know, and we all just come together and make it happen. You know, a lot of different people stick together. A lot of races stick together, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, to take it there real quick, I wasn't going to take it there, but to take it there, I feel like the African American community, we don't really stick together like we should. You know what I mean? And I honestly believe that it's not really our fault we don't stick together. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, the way, you know, the government makes shit, it makes us the way we are. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the music nowadays is way 10 times worse than it was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And, you know, 10 years ago, it was worse than that. You know what I'm saying? The music is so kill niggas and you know what I'm saying, all that shit, and it's just fucking these young niggas' minds up. You know what I mean? We got to do better as a race. You know what I mean?
I
You know,
agree.
the Hispanics stick together through anything.
I definitely agree. I mean, to be honest, every, I guess, kind of ethnicity in a sense got their own mess. Because to be honest,
ain't nobody perfect.
Yeah, if you sit and listen to Hispanics talk about each other and Mexicans in comparison to Salvadorians, like it's a thing. But you know, with us, it's like we do have that sense of community, but it don't be for the always the right things. Like for instance, you know, if one of us take off running, everybody taking off running, and we on the same accord like that. But you know, we can't come together for something that really, you know, matter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, we got these natural instincts to stick together, and we keep fighting them at every turn. We keep giving it resistance. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's like, face what you going through, face your traumas. We are so stuck in this mindset that we can't heal from our traumas. We have to suffer through the pain, the hurt that our ancestors have created. So we're supposed to be stuck there, and we're supposed to be secretive about it. And a man is supposed to be strong, and he's not supposed to cry. He has to suck it in. He can't be emotional. So, you know, it's definitely, you know, I hear a lot of men say, I just can't cry.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I can. Right. I lost my grandmother last year and my great grandmother, you know, within a month of each other last summer, you know. And you know, those women were just as important to me as my mother. You know, they helped my mom raise me. My mom had me when she was 16 years old, you know, and then her mother had her when she was 16. So my grandmother was 32 years older than me, you know what I mean? So losing, you know, they were a very important role in my life, both of them, my grandmother and my great grandmother, you know. And you know, to lose them both at the same time, I felt like, you know, for a minute I thought I was next. I'm like, man, I done lost my man, he done died, both my grandmothers. Like, I just thought like the world is just coming to an end as we know it, you know. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. It's like it's real hard to explain when people we understand that we have the generational trauma. We understand, you know, what has been done to we completely understand that. It's already recorded. It's in history books. You know what I'm saying? That is all of our ancestors has bared the embarrassment, I believe, of you know, the worst of what can happen to us. So at this point, there is no reason to have shame of what you are going through, because
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? They've experienced that. They are in the history books with welts on their backs and chapters on their heads. We've been embarrassed. It is what it is. Like, so for you to be thinking of our trauma that, you know, just generational and what you could be going through now is correlated. So to feel shame about it is unnecessary, and you got to talk to it to go through it. So you know, think about it that way.
Yeah, and then not even on that. We're healing. We're helping the people. We're showing people that, you know what, we went through all of this, the traumas that have been passed down, but we are breaking the shackles and the chains to say we will no longer be shackled to our traumas. And this is what we went through. We went through some shit, but this is how you can heal if you face your traumas, if you honest with yourself, if you real with yourself. You know, it's not our fault. We don't choose our parents. We don't choose our families. But as we get older and wiser, we can choose to change and not be like what we came from, or you know, the surroundings.
No, you're right. You absolutely right.
It's like voting, y'all. Like, whether you actually believe in the practice and what the hell goes on. To me, I know 50 something years ago I couldn't do that shit. So now that I can do it, I'm gonna do it just because I can. 50-something years ago, you wouldn't have been able to sit and talk about your experience as a Black person or the trauma in your life. Nobody would have given a damn. Nobody would have given a damn. So
but you know, it's hard.
You have the option to do it now. Do it.
Yeah, but it's also hard because we trying to give it to you. We trying to get you to see it, but to get people to receive it and say, I'm going through this, I want to heal. People are afraid, but you stepping out, Leon, you are making a path, not just for yourself, but the men and the men that come behind the men to say, it is okay. It is okay that you went through this. It is okay that you have an emotion, and it is okay that you heal. Look what I went through. I lost everything. And look what happened when I changed my life and I got clean. God has given me back just as much as I have lost.
Exactly. That's all it is to it, man. But you got to be willing, you know, I mean, the healing process, right? It could get bad, but it's nothing compared to what you're going through out here. You know what I mean? Like going to treatment, going, sitting in a rehab facility, listening to these people pick at your nerves to see, they pick at your nerves for a reason, to see how you're going to act under pressure. You know what I mean? Because they want to see if he gets mad, if I make him lose his hours out for the weekend, he can't go see his family, is he going to go relapse? Because that's the whole purpose of it. Rehab to me is like the movie Karate Kid. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen the original first Karate Kid where Daniel's son was doing all the yard work? And he's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you supposed to be teaching me how to fight, but you got me painting the fence and all this shit. And the whole time he was teaching them how to fight through the yard work. You see what I'm saying? Like, they have jobs. They got this one job in the rehab that I was in, right? It's called Expediter, where you just sit in a chair for 2 hours and monitor the front door. And then you go to another chair and sit in the cafeteria and monitor the cafeteria for 2 hours. And you do it for 8 hours. You go there, front, back, cafeteria, and back to the front. You do it for 8 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, why? What does this have to do with rehab? That's teaching you how to sit with yourself and being bored. You know what I'm saying? Because being bored is a trigger to get high. Once you get bored, you want to go get high. So that's teaching you how to sit with yourself for 8 hours. You know what I mean? And it looks stupid when you in there, but for real, that shit really helps. You know what I mean? And they have plenty of little stupid jobs in there, you know what I'm saying, that really help. You know what I mean? And like I said, though, like if people really want to get it, they just got to go through it. Like I said, there's nothing in that facility or any facility of rehabs that's worse than what you're going through in the streets. So the choice is y'all's. I just hope and pray that, we as a people, and like I said, I'm not just talking to the African Americans, even though I love my people. I'm talking to anybody on drugs or going through any traumatizing experiences in their life. There's help for any situation you're going through. You just got to be willing to sit through it and go through it to get to where you need to get to. And if you don't know how to get there, call me. Hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and I will definitely guide you on how to get there.
Absolutely. And I just want to stress the fact, when we look at these success stories, regardless of what success we're looking at, they're feel good stories. We look at them, oh, that's nice. Like, I wish that could be me type thing. But it's super powerful that you're here saying this, because people that really know you, or people that are really going through some stuff and know you, can be like, oh, dang, I know him for real. Like, this ain't somebody I'm just looking at on TV.
Yeah.
He really did this. And he really sitting here telling people about it on a podcast. So it definitely is a blessing that you are here telling your story, so that you can be that source for the average ass person that, don't think that they can do it.
Man, most of the people
it's real bad out here. I got people dealing with the addiction to the same drug.
Yeah.
I didn't, from cousins playing in sandbox and they the uncle sleeping on the bench. You know what I'm saying? It's it's turning people into people we don't know. We again are getting older, and it's not always going to manifest as you actually ODing. People are getting conditions, as you can see, from the drug use. People having heart attacks and things like that from PCP use. So
and I just told Sid today, what I do, I called you. I was talking to Sid today because you don't know how you touch me and Sid. So we talking, and I told Sid today, I was like, man, Guss done touched me. I was like, I didn't know the epidemic was that bad. And I'm talking to Sid. Sid was like, yeah, it's different in each generation. And she's breaking it down to me. I'm like, I hear people on drugs, but I didn't know the impact and how it's affecting our community in a whole. But when I was younger, I experienced a lot of drug addicts in our family, so I know what it is, but when you separate yourself and put yourself in a different space,
like a worldly view,
you become naive to it because you're not a part of it, right? So
that's exactly how I was. Like, clearly, like I didn't had two people on here that I was literally like this with, had no idea they was on drugs. And growing up, to be honest, shit, being the baby and sitting around, your older siblings and his friends and shit, I'd have been around them plenty of damn times and not knowing what the hell was going on. Like, you know what I mean? And they wasn't strung out or nothing, but it was getting done. And I ain't know nobody was smoking bowl or sherm, whatever the hell you want to call it. It just was normal, you know what I mean? So I believe it's just getting out of hand. It's not, things are changing in the way that life is getting hard for people. So it's changing more from a recreational thing to something people are really dependent on, because it's getting them through.
That's how it works.
Like, we're not just doing that for fun no more. We need this shit. We need to escape.
But a lot of it comes from folks dealing with traumas. They don't know where to go, so they turn to drugs. But that's something that we need to make transparent too, even what Guss has went through from childhood to adulthood, because a lot of kids think it's acceptable to turn to drugs because they watch parents, family member, friends around them. So it becomes like, okay, I'm going through this, they going through it, what do they turn to?
But it's self-medication too, though. So it's people that turn to full-blown drug addicts because they are in pain and they stop prescribing them their pain medicine or some shit like that, and they chose something else to heal their pain, or literally you trying to suppress something mental, or turn off something mental. Like, people are really self-medicating with street drugs, and this is why it's considered a sickness. It's not just the person you should have pity on. It's real. It's a sickness. It's an illness. So it's real. People are really self-medicating, self-soothing, trying to heal through drugs and shit like that. And which is why we're seeing this in our little suburban ass communities, where we feel like nothing should be going on.
It's a suppressant. It's suppressing everything that you're going through, but then it's actually making the situation even worse. But I have a question for you really quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I want to chime in, because another reason why I connect with you, because I'm a kidney donor, and you and I had that conversation. I gave my grandmother my kidney. So if there's anyone on the donor list, if you're watching this, and if Leon Guss has touched you, he does need a kidney. He's on dialysis. So we always like to bring, because miracles do happen and blessings do come. So, I hope someone's watching and is like, you know what, I can help him. Blessings come. But I heard you say that you're on your second kidney transplant, and this is your first time is different than your second time. Can you chime in just a little bit so folks can see?
Well, no, I haven't got the second one yet.
Yeah, I mean, the second one's coming up. The first time. So, I apologize.
No,
so
no.
We're going to the second one.
So the first go around. Okay, well, my girl, my brother, my mother, they all offered me kidneys, but I told them I'd rather take one from a person that's dead. You know what I mean? Because y'all might need y'all kidneys in the future. You know what I mean? I appreciate it, but y'all might need y'all's body parts in the future. I'd rather take one from somebody who can't use it no more. That's a good thing to do, to donate and help people, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be the one, like, if they need their parts, you know what I'm saying, in the future, and I got their kidney and they needed their kidney, you know what I'm saying? So I told them no. But, the first time around, as far as the transplant, it happened kind of quick. Because like I said, I was in the treatment center, and I was at the part of it where I moved to an Oxford House. Oxford House, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a regular home in a regular community. It's just a house full of recovering addicts. And I lived in Falls Church. I was down in Bailey's Crossroads, down in that area. And I was at dialysis, matter of fact, and I got the phone call from the transplant center at Fairfax Hospital to come down. They asked me to come down and right after dialysis, go home, pack a bag, and somebody was out of town. They offered it to somebody else, but they were out of town. So they were like, if you want it, I was like, yeah. They said, well, go home, pack a bag, come to the hospital. So I went back to the Oxford House. One of my roommates gave me a ride to the hospital, and it happened like that. And they even tell you, like, the person's life, the person who had it before you, he was in the military. The dude I got it from was in the military. He died in a car accident. He didn't use any drugs. He did drink a little bit, but his kidney would have been better than a kidney from my relatives, they told me. And it worked good. It functioned really good. Excuse me. But it was me. It was me. You know, I got the transplant. And, you know, at the time, my lady was staying in Stafford, Virginia, you know, and I would go down there for like maybe a week at a time. I wouldn't take enough medicine down there with me. So, you know, the rejection medicine, and eventually a couple years later, it ended up failing. It ended up getting infected. So I had to take it back out. And yeah, I was very disappointed to have to be back on dialysis. And so I just got to take better care of myself. You know, I got a little big headed. But
Now,
yeah.
the first kidney that you got, you know, after that point, after you got it, were you know, clean at that point?
Oh yeah, yeah. I couldn't. Yeah, okay, so I couldn't get on the list until I was clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, they put me on the list the beginning of August of 2018. My birthday is August 26th. They put me on the list in the beginning of August. August 22nd, I was getting a transplant. That was probably the fastest kidney transplant list anyone has ever been on. You know what I mean? Because usually it takes years to get a kidney. You know what I mean? But because I was young, you know, they go by age, they go by blood type. My blood type is AB. I can receive a kidney from anybody in the world. It doesn't have to have the same blood type, because my blood type can take a kidney from anybody in the world. You know what I mean? And they go by how long you've been on dialysis. And I had been on dialysis for a while at that time. My kidney failed when I was 27 years old. You know, and this was probably when I got the transplant in 2018. So that was what, like 5 years ago? So I was 34. So yeah. So they used that time, my age being young, and you know, and they gave me a shot. And you know, at first it was hard, you know, because you know I don't urinate. Like, I don't urinate at all. You know what I mean? I got to go to dialysis and they got to pull the fluid out that way. And my body be feeling like I got to urinate. You know, that's the worst feeling in the world, to feel like you got to pee but you can't. Nothing comes out. So I go through that shit. And you know, I really need another kidney. And
Right.
I believe God's gonna bless me with one.
He is. And I just want to tell you, as a donor, that you can live a healthy life with one kidney.
Yeah,
I gave my grandmother my kidney. It'll be 20, almost 22 years in
that's good.
December. So you can live a healthy, normal life. And I'm O positive, so I can give to all bloods except
Yeah.
one. It's a rare blood. So
Okay.
yeah, so as an O positive donor, you can give to anyone.
That's
But
what's,
if someone's going to bless you, I just want to let you know, for your girl, anyone, and I know how you feel, and I heard what you said. They
yeah.
can live a healthy life. You can live a lot. You can outlive people with one kidney. You just
Yeah.
get checkups. You don't have to
Yeah.
take. I haven't taken no medicine or nothing. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's just something to throw, just something for you to think about.
Right.
Yeah.
As a donor, um,
Right.
See,
you
that's
know,
why I asked, because I was wondering, you know, if the first time around you felt like maybe you didn't deserve it, if that somebody, you know, whoever was willing to try to give it to you, maybe you felt like you didn't deserve it, and if it felt different, maybe the second time around, if they were offering now, you know, would you take
Right.
it?
Yeah. Hold on just a second, y'all.
it's
Oh
okay.
no, it's okay. I got you.
But yeah, I mean, but
It's okay.
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you fine. It's okay. We know you sitting down. Leon had
Yeah.
to move down to the lobby to get
Yeah.
quietness, so we
Yeah.
understand. And the
I'm,
audience, we want y'all to know. So yeah,
yeah.
we
I
appreciate
got
you
it.
everyone here. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad, you know, I got a chance to share with you
Hmm.
and both of you. You know what I mean? And I hope this does touch somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
it
really
will.
do. You know.
It will. I have a
Then they
question,
left.
really quick. Can you get an audience?
No.
If you have time, two or three advice on positive um advice on maybe one, how to beat drug addiction or how to stay away from drug addiction, something about transplant, living a healthy life, and where you are today. Something to stay on those roads.
You said what now? I'm sorry. You said you
To give advice, gives positive
get
advice.
some advice. Okay.
Yeah, or maybe one your drug recovery, a healthy the kidney advice on that, going through the kidney process, and
Yeah.
advice on where you are today. Something positive.
Something positive. Okay. You said give advice on how to stay like how to stay like away from drugs. Like
Yeah,
No,
the
pretty much 3 bits of information or
yeah,
three tips that you would give.
yeah, maybe
somebody.
yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
to
Okay.
somebody else to avoid the things that you have been through for each kind of
Okay.
crisis in your
Okay.
life.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry I confused you.
No,
Sorry.
no, no, no,
Like
no,
you
no, no.
said.
It's just
Sorry.
it's a lot going on over here, and I'm
Yeah.
focusing on everything. But okay, so okay, what I would tell someone, all right, advice for someone, all right, advice, okay, if they haven't used drugs before, if they haven't used it, but they're hearing about how good it is, don't do it. That's my advice. Because peer pressure is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's easy, especially at a young age, to be peer pressured into doing something, because everybody else is doing it. But we got to start thinking about our future. You know what I mean? We got to start thinking about your future. When somebody give you a perk or anything, they pop this, man. This will make you feel better. Nah, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm straight. You'll thank yourself in the long run. For anybody, if anybody was going through the kidney, or if anybody's on the verge of going through the kidney problems that I'm going through, my advice to you would be do as the doctor tells you. You know what I mean? It's very simple instructions that I'm giving them. You know what I'm saying? Like if your blood pressure is high, take your blood pressure medicine. You know what I mean? If you're taking something that's making your blood pressure high, you know, ask your doctor. If it's not drugs and it's something else, you eating the wrong foods, eat better. Everything. It's hard if you're already in it. If you're already using drugs, of course it's going to be hard to just stop. A lot of people told me, why can't you just stop smoking? But my mom used to always say that. Why can't you just stop? I'm like, if it was that easy, there'd be no need for rehabs. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, if it's already too late, take the necessary steps to get the help you need. And no matter how hard it gets, don't give up on yourself. You know what I mean? That's what I would tell people. And as far as your health goes, it don't got to be kidney failure. It could be anything you're going through health wise. You know what I'm saying? Take the doctor's advice and do what you got to do. I'm big on making all my appointments. You know what I'm saying? Whether it frustrates me to have to take off work and skimp my paycheck, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? What's more important, that check or my life? Because without my life, ain't gonna be no paycheck, So put your health first. You ain't gotta eat right. I'm not telling you I eat right, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, if you're going through health problems, follow the doctor's advice. If he tells you you're doing something wrong, stop doing what you're doing. If he tells you need to take this pill, you take that pill. You do what you got to do to survive. You know what I mean? That's my advice. Listen to the doctors as far as health. And if you ain't doing drugs and you being peer pressured, just say no. Remember that saying back in the 90s, just say no? Yeah, that shit is real. Just say no. Because, I mean, a drug addiction life is harder than people think. And a lot of people don't make it out. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays. They're putting fentanyl in everything, Fentanyl is killing people left and right. So we got to do better. We got to do better as a unit to stick together.
Agreed.
And that's my little advice.
Agreed. So now we just kind of take the time. I know you kind of just a what you call regular kind of guest for us.
Yeah.
You don't kind of regular smegular guy with a story.
Yeah. I don't
However,
have. Yeah.
I don't know. If you're at the point in your recovery to maybe take on being a sponsor for anybody or mentor, anything like that. But we normally take this little point in the kind of our podcast to give you the floor
Yeah.
to let our viewers know about anything that you have going on that they can maybe help with, that you can bring awareness to or bring traffic to. if you are trying to put out the feelers for a donation of a kidney, hell, do that.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's willing, they're willing. Regardless of the situation, they are a willing participant. And at the end of the day, you just said you gotta do what you need to do to survive. You know you need a kidney. So don't be too proud. You ain't begging. So they offering. So just put your details out. How somebody can reach you, if they have even just words of encouragement, if they need anything from you, where they can reach you if they know any information about kidneys or anybody who's looking to donate. Just kind of, you have the floor to let everybody know how they can get with you.
Well, okay. Well, you could. I don't have like no. Well, okay. You can reach me on Facebook. That's probably the first and foremost place you can reach me at. Guss Johnson on Facebook. For those who know me, y'all know what I look like. Y'all know my profile picture. You see me now. So I'm same looking dude on the Facebook. If you want to give me a trend, if you have a kidney to offer, or if you need advice on trying to get treatment, or you just need someone to talk to, I'm willing to put my phone number on here. And my phone number is 703-546-6854. Yeah, I'm open to talk. If you need help, if you want to keep it confidential, you just need someone to talk to about how to get out of the situation you're in, you know what I'm saying, as far as drug addiction, or you want me to point you in the right direction, that's my phone number. Again, 703-546-6854. Please call me only if you're serious, though, and like I said, I can guide you to where you need to be, I can get you there. So it's all up to you. The choice is yours. And either way, whether you don't have a kidney for me, or I don't know. I don't really want to take a kidney from somebody. Like you said, I do need to do what I need to do, but I don't want to take nobody's kidney. You know what I mean? But I do want to help people. I do want to see people live a better life. Especially people with kids. I mean, people with kids, people without kids, but a lot of these children out here don't have both parents. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, and the reason for some of it is drug addiction. So let's try to get these parents to their kids in a positive way, because the kids need us right now. These kids are so lost right now, and they need us. They need us. A lot of people's kids are doing good. I see a lot of graduation pictures on Facebook, but some kids do need guidance, and I would like to put together a group, for that purpose only, of just trying to help the kids and help kids in drug addiction. My dream was to become a drug counselor, but I never pursued it. And it's never too late. It's never too late. We'll see.
I was just about to say, it don't have to be a was.
I know.
It does not have to be a was. It's you can change courses. I've been in about 5 different careers at the tender age of 33. So you can keep going.
Leon, we want to thank you. I'm sorry.
No.
Cry baby.
I know, it's when you can relate to someone, and like the kidney piece of it. And my best friend, she received a kidney from her neighbor. He blessed her, and she didn't even know. She just was like, I needed a kidney, and he blessed her. So you don't know how God is going to bless you,
Right.
And the fact that you're not selfish speaks volumes. But if your mom or your girlfriend, if it's still open, if they offer you a kidney, I would take it. But they may not. People change, because I know. But I hope that God blesses you with a kidney. If I could give my kidney and I still had it, I would have gave it to you. And that's the God's honest truth.
I hear you.
I just wish you so much success, and thank you for coming on and sharing.
And I don't want this to be like the last time we speak,
It's not.
Because opening up to y'all really made me feel good tonight. You know what I mean? And I want to continue to, you know, try to do work in the community to, you know, help people get, you know, get their lives together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm gonna have some stuff coming up, and I definitely will reach out to you as being a guest speaker. You know,
Okay. Okay.
so we're gonna keep this movement going, and there's a few things, networking events and stuff. We'll talk off note, but we'll
Okay.
chat later. That I definitely would like to invite you to. But
Okay.
we're at time. Just hold still. Don't shut off yet.
Okay.
We just want to thank everyone for tuning in to Unfiltered, Unspoken. And if you didn't hear Leon Johnson, call him Guss, testimony, he went through his childhood traumas into drug addiction of PCP. He did things. And if you watch this full interview of him, he definitely should have touched you, because I know he touched me. And he has a failing kidney. His first transplant is rejecting right now, so he's in need of a kidney. He's on dialysis, and he is in search of a donor. He's AB, so he's compatible with anyone's blood. So if you're open to donate a kidney, it's not by force. Reach out to Guss. Blessings on blessings. And Guss, I just want to thank you for stepping up, your positive energy, everything
Yeah.
positive about you. You continue that, and you continue to set examples of how strong men, not just Black, because we don't want to make this it's about everybody, but how strong men can stand up, take accountability, change their lives. And that's what you have done. And we want to thank you for tuning into Unfiltered Unspoken, and we're going to continue to share life experiences of others to help others going through similar situations. Sid, thank you for everything again and all that you do for the platform. I love you, sis. And thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered Unspoken, and we will see you soon.